Welcome to the Diary of a Beautician. This is your host, Sha, and tune in every Sunday from 9 p.m. to listen to my podcast from the health and beauty industry via my website. At a later stage, it will be available to download. I will be discussing various topics, stories, news, educational and historical content. Please head over to my website and subscribe to some great monthly content sent to you as a newsletter. You can also book my services for the latest treatments from the comfort of your home. My website address is www.shashalondon.co.uk. Follow me on social networks, Instagram at sslondon84, Facebook Shashalondon, Twitter Shashalondon. If you have any questions, do feel free to send your questions to me via social media, or you can send your message to shashalondoninfo@gmail.com. So this is my first ever podcast, so thank you to everyone that has taken the time out to listen to me today. I hope you will find this content enjoyable and will be joining me each week listening to me. So a little insight about myself and who I am. So my name is Shalene and I go by the name Sha, and I am a professional beauty therapist, also known as a beautician. I'm not quite sure what they call beauticians or beauty therapists in America or anywhere else around the world. So do let me know what they would have call you by. But that's what they call us here in the UK. So as a beauty therapist / beautician, we provide various treatments like massages of all different kinds, facials of all different kinds, manicures, pedicures, holistic treatment, waxing, lashes, nails extension, and so on and so on and so on. We cover a lot basically, okay? Some of us prefer a particular treatment and have mastered some of these treatments and specialized in these particular treatments. For myself, I am more on the holistic side of things now. I used to do a lot of the other stuff, but I like to focus on help healing the people as opposed to just providing a service. So I like to go a little bit more in depth with people. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, okay? And I'm going to speak a little bit about the beauty industry. So give you some facts about the beauty industry up to this date. So the beauty industry and the personal care industry is worth £15.6 billion in the UK, I believe. Yeah, £15.6 billion in the UK. So I can well believe that. I still think it's more, but those listen to this today probably think, wow, that's a lot of money. It really is. There's some facts on that on a website called Statista. So that's www.statista.com, okay? And there's some more information and facts about the revenue of the industry. So the beauty industry is the sixth largest market in the UK. The biggest spenders in the beauty industry are women. Yep, you heard it, women. I'm not saying you men don't spend. You're spending a bit more now, but it's more women spending in the industry, okay? You will see a high percentage of women, yep, working in the industry as beauty therapists, beautician. And because the industry is growing yearly, it's now creating more job opportunities in the spa and the salon. So that's fantastic. So if there's anyone out there who's thinking, oh gosh, once I qualify, will I get a job? You will. There's more jobs in that industry today, more now than ever. Okay. So let's begin on the topic of discussion. So this week's topic of conversation is about value your professionals. So this topic, so basically this topic can cover literally most industries, but I can only talk from the industry that I am in right now, which is the beauty industry. So I've been posting on my social media pages various of images of content that I initially wanted to speak to you about. Firstly, I wanted to talk about skin or skincare. Then speaking to a friend who also works in the industry, this topic triggered something to talk about as a topic of conversation. So I created an image. So I found an image online and I literally put a caption across the image saying value your professionals. And that's where literally this whole topic came about. So story time. I'm going to tell you a little story about where I worked in the industry and the reason why I'm saying value your professionals. So for legal reasons, I won't be naming the company, okay? People don't ask me who the company is. I ain't going to tell you. And individuals as well. Well, I don't know what happened to them. Only God knows what happened to them. But anyway, but yeah, I'll be just giving you my account of the story. So once I've completed my qualification to level 3 as a beauty therapist, I knew I needed to start out, finding work so I can gain the experience in that industry. Applied for numerous of jobs, and as you do, and finally got an interview with this particular company. Being it was a reputable company, I was excited and I thought, well, there's definitely going to be room for progression and all the rest. So I was really excited when I heard that I got an interview. So I met with the general manager, and the individual was, spinning a positive environment. He was spinning like it's really good work environment. It's really a nice place to be, just really making it sound so good. And the team are lovely. Oh, you'll fit right in. Da 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 da. So I was just like, okay, wow, okay, I'm excited. You're selling this. I'm excited. So when he said good team, I was like, check. When he said good working environment, I was like, check. Pay, wait, okay, no check. But I'll come back to that. So now, last thing you want to hear in an interview from any employer is it's a really poor place to work and everyone's a mess. And that's when you're literally legging it out of the door. You're like, oh, I'm going to the toilet, see you later, bye, and running out. But the general manager really sold a story for me. So I was really content and I was really happy. I wanted to, he sold me that story of it being a good working environment. Check. Good team, check. There's bonuses, check. So he really sold me a dream, a real good dream. This place is, one of the best places to work for, best companies to work for. So I was excited. And as I said, you don't want to hear from the employer that this place is a mess, which it was. But that's coming down, and I'll be filling you with that later. So I went on to express how I would like to progress, and the general manager was assuring me that this was achievable. If I put in the work, then of course I would excel. I will progress in no time, okay? So that made me excited even more. After an hour and 30 minutes interview, including a trade test, they offered me a position as spa therapist. So if you guys not quite sure what a trade test is, it's basically providing a treatment. So it could be a massage, manicure, pedicure, or whatever treatment they are requiring, that you've learned at college, or you just what you've gained experience of working in the industry for them on that particular day with the interview. Okay. So what happened next, I can just say that it was literally above me. It was literally above me. I could not tell you how it went downhill. It was already downhill, but as I said, he sold me a dream. So first day standing around, and I mean standing around. So I started my job with my own tunic. So my black tunic, black trousers, belly pump shoes, hair done, makeup done, minimal earrings, and no visible tattoos, even though I don't have none. So I looked the part. I was prepared. I was ready, but I was just standing around today. There was no rota. There was no information about the products. There was no uniform trying to sort out. There was nothing. It was just me standing there in one part of the spa looking like I just standing there looking like a lemon. Literally just standing there looking like a lemon. Day 2, I was asked to do treatments, and I thought, okay, I can do massaging. And they said, oh no, you're going to do facials. And I thought, okay, fine. So when I looked at the products that they had there, I was like, well, I have not used this product before, and I'm sure I'm supposed to have training with it. And the staff member that's been there for a long time looked at me and said, oh no, you'll be fine, just do it, read the label, you'll be fine, and then walked off. So I was left there to do the treatment, no training, and just to get on with it. Absolutely shocking. So I proceeded with the treatment, did it to the best of my ability, praying to God I don't hurt the person or create, or you know what, I was praying that the person didn't know that I didn't know what I was doing. Can I say that? I was praying that the person didn't know that I didn't know what I was doing. It's crazy, but yeah, that's how it got. So after the week had ended, there was no sight of my manager. Now, it's not really down to the staff that's been there for a long time to sort out my rota, my uniform, to do all the things that required to be done for someone who just started work. That was down to the spa manager. But nevertheless, the general manager should have stepped in at that point, because if staff is starting, they're going to need some type of guidance through the process of the environment. But he didn't want to do it. So the general manager didn't want to do it. Okay. So I had approached the general manager and said, look, I need the rota, I need the uniform, I need all these things sorted out. And the general manager's reply was, go and ask the girls to help you out. I'm too busy. So I went back to the women and asked them for a uniform and the rota and possibly some training as soon as possible to help out. And they asked me my size, ordered a uniform, great. When it did arrive, wrong size. Okay. But I worked with it. I squeezed myself into it and I worked with it. The rota, but I didn't ask for these days. I weren't equipped for these days. Oh, we need the cover. Okay, I'll do it. Had I had a child, I wouldn't be able to do it. But you've put me in a position now that I have to choose. Because I want the experience, I want the job, I've got to now choose. However, I didn't have a child or any other obligations, so I was able to do it. But it's not right. Okay? So they got me the uniform, wrong size. Rota, not quite right. At this point, I was becoming very frustrated and annoyed by the situation. Okay? So weeks have passed and there's no spa manager in sight. She was only supposed to be off for a week, and it in turn turned out she was off for the whole month. When the spa manager did return, she could not look me in my face, let alone introduce herself to me. I was pretty, again, annoyed. Why would you not introduce yourself? Why wouldn't you say, hello, my name's blah, blah, blah. I'm your spa manager. Welcome. I had to go over to her and introduce myself and say, hello, my name's Shalene. I'm your new spa therapist. How you doing? Okay? So that's what happened. And while I'm doing that, she couldn't even look me in my eye. That's how bad it was. And I'm saying to myself, have I met you before? Have I done you something? No, because I've never met this woman before, and I pray I never meet her again. Okay, so she couldn't look me in my face, but as I am, as a professional, I approached and I introduced myself, and that was that. So by the time she came back, as I say, she came back a month later. So for the end of the week, she decided to resign, handed in a notice, and she left. And a part of me was happy. Yay! I was happy because she was leaving. She did nothing. She refused to even look me in my eye, shake my hand, or even say hello. So I was happy that this woman was leaving, and we may be getting somebody with some experience to take her over. So the gym had to go out there and, put advertisement for spa manager as soon as possible. And when we finally got another spa manager, it was someone who had no experience whatsoever. And this again infuriated the staff, and it was just such a poor call for the general manager to do that. The spa needed an experienced manager, but he hired someone inexperienced to do the job that he knew full well that she couldn't do. So it created more tension in the workplace, and the staff were becoming more restless with this decision. Anyway, I remember one day me and my colleague was in the double room. So the double room is where it has two beds, and usually we do treatments for couples or friends, that sort of thing. So it was in the couples room, or the double room, and we're doing the treatment, and you got the spa music in the background, and it's all zen, and everyone's chilled out. And as we're doing the treatment, we can hear voices raising. But in this place, nothing was normal in this place, okay? Nothing was right in this place. So every moment, the chiming of the little bells in the spa music was going, you could hear the voice raising, to the point the customers could hear it, and my customer in turn turned around and looked at me, the eyes were closed, and looked at me and said, "What's going on out there?" So then I had to look at my colleague, and I was like, right, I'm going out, and apologize to the customer and say, look, I'm really sorry about that. Now let me go and sort it out. So I proceeded down the corridor, and literally could see at the end of the corridor, the manager and the beautician loggerheads, literally arguing and shouting and back and forward and backwards and forward. And I thought, oh my goodness, what the heck are you lot doing? We've got clients, we've got customers here. This is not the time nor the place. So I literally jumped in front of them and I was like, pack it in, you, pack it in, you, pack it in. I sound like their mother. These are two grown women having a barmy about, I don't even know what triggered it off, but let's just say it was in the air. And they were just biting and shouting and screaming. So one of the ladies from the reception was trying to lead the manager into our meeting area, and I was trying to pull the therapist aside, like, come on, just walk away. Then my colleague that was in the double room having to take the clients out of the room and take them round to the pool area to take them away from it, because it's just embarrassing, right? So then she went to go and look for the spa manager, and lo and behold, sorry, not the spa manager, the general manager was having a swim. Yes, a swim, people. So she tells him what's happened. He's leapt out to rush down to find out what's going on. And we've got the therapist in the room, and then we've got the spa manager in the meeting area. And they're still shouting and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it was like a penny dropped, and I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this. And the following day, I literally came into work and I said, I'm handing in my notice. I'm no longer willing to stay in this environment. It's too toxic. And it's just, I'm not getting anywhere. I didn't sign up for this. Okay. I also had repetitive strain injury. They call it RSI, where the muscles have been overworked because I was doing back-to-back treatments, and I had to take time out. And again, that was a valuation of, do I stay, do I go? But after that and the incident, I was like, no, I'm gone. So yeah, it was very disappointing. It was very frustrating. It was very tiresome. And it was sad because that was my first experience into the beauty industry. I got no support. I got no training. I walked away with nothing. Okay. But pain in my hand. Imagine that you walk away from a job with pain in your hand. So it wasn't a good experience. So that was my story, and there was a lot of issues in there, a lot, and there were some solutions that could have been implemented in that story. Okay, so there was issues and solutions, and what I'm going to do now is just talk a little bit about the issues and the solutions. So some of the issues are relevant to the story I just told you, and some of the issues, some of my colleagues that I used to work with, who are still therapists, that felt were issues that could have been resolved with a solution. Okay, long hours. So most spas and salons open 7 days a week, right? From 9 till 9 in the evening, literally the whole day. Now, employers got to remember people have life. They have a life other than work. So opening up 7 days, where do people find time to spend time with their loved ones, or to have a holiday, or to do anything? That's just, that's indulgent, that's over the top. And some employers are wanting employees to work 7 days a week. No, that's just ridiculous. You can still give someone full time, but they don't need to do 7 days a week. Do you get what I'm saying? This is just over the top. And as I said, they forget that these people, all of us, have a life. So, I've even heard, a manager say, well, it's the money, it's the revenue, it's a customer. And I said, well, I get that. I gradually get that. But then you've got to remember that there's businesses that open 5 days a week, and they are doing really well, and they're thriving, and they're making loads of money. So there's no excuse when you're saying 7 days a week, because there's other people doing 5 days a week and still making the money. Okay, so we need to think about the employees who are working for you. That's going to make the money in turn for you. Yeah. Then you got to think about not having any staff. Now, if you're having no staff, then there's a problem with how you're dealing with your staff. You, the employer, have done something that's created some type of void or some type of issue in the workplace, or you've hired somebody who's a bad seed, who's creating problems in your workplace, and then the high level of turnover staff is literally in the makings, right? So if you know there's someone who's a bad seed, who's negative, toxic, can't do work, always miserable, blah blah blah, blah, then they need to go, or they fall in line, get their head down, do the job, and carry on. If they can't do it, then they have to go. Okay, because all of that is a knock-on effect to the rest of the team. If it's something that you're doing, that you've created, then you've got to figure out what it is that you're doing that's creating the staff to leave, and you need to resolve it. Okay. And that kind of leads on to poor management. Poor management is hiring a poor manager who has no experience. And I'm not saying that you can't hire someone who hasn't got the experience, because they're going to need to know how it is to be a manager, right? But what you do is, solution is to put them as assistant spa manager, so they can gain experience in that year, and then initially take over the following year or couple years. I don't know, but there is ways of implementing someone into a job without them creating havoc or not having a clue how to do it, right? And yes, they do need, like I said, they do need experience, and yes, they need to work, but there is ways of doing it. It's better to give the person with the experience and the know-how, especially like where I had work in that particular place, and that story I just shared with you. We needed an experienced manager to run the place, and not one who was inexperienced. No training is like saying to a person, do wax, just wax, yeah, but you don't have no spatulas, and there's no wax. So how am I going to wax? You got to give the therapist the tools to do their job. If you're not giving the therapist the tools to do their job, then how do you expect them to do their job? They can't provide a service if you haven't given them the training of the product or the machinery. They can make a serious error that can in turn harm the client. So what you want to do is to stay up to date and get your therapist trained on new products and new machinery. Come on, this is not rocket science. But I've seen many people hire people in with no training and just let them loose on the general public. No, unacceptable. No progression. Again, if someone's come in and asked for progression and you've not given them progression, you need to explain to them why you're not giving them progression. If the person's not doing the job correctly and not doing what's required of the job, then fair enough. That's why you're not progressing on. But then that's where you need to train and develop that person so they can progress. That's what makes a good employer. If the person is requiring progression and they've demonstrated time and time again that they are making money and doing the job that requires of them, then you need to elevate them. Why would you leave them in the same position if they've been crying out for that progression, right? That makes you a good employer. So allow your therapist to progress. There could be even an employer that is there with you right now and they're showing all the signs of progression into senior therapist or manager, but they themselves have been working so endlessly, they've kind of pushed it to the fore or to the back of their mind and think, well, they've not said anything and I'm not going to say anything. One-to-ones. Have one-to-ones with your team. Find out where they are, where they're going. And they may in turn might find the passion again to want to progress. It really comes down to the employer really working with their team to know whether this person wants progression from the jump off when they explained it in the interview, throughout the time they've been there, or seeing them and they're not progressing and need training to develop, okay? Poor pay. Again, 2019, I live in London, one of the biggest cities in the world. It's the most expensive city in the world, one of them, right? And you're paying people minimum wage to be a beauty therapist, yet they have spent all that time in college, some of them up to 2 to 4 years, training as a beauty therapist. Even after the training, people don't seem to realize, even after we've been trained, we still need to do more training. So the training never stops, okay? But yet you want to pay the professional minimum wage or nothing. It's absurd, it's crazy, it's ludicrous, and that needs to be changed. The industry needs a governing body where it regulates the pay for the professional at a good pay, and also regulate some of these premises because they are dangerous. But I'm coming to that. You know, you've got supermarkets, retail paying more. I've actually seen a retail paying retail staff £11 to £12 an hour, and then I've seen a beauty therapist required for £8.50 an hour. Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. That can't work. That really can't work, guys. So this needs to change. Pay your therapists because they are qualified, they are still training, they're still developing, and they're putting the energy into this. Come on, there needs to be a change in the pay, and it needs to go up. The pay needs to go up and be paid accordingly. Diversity. Right. I am West Indian heritage, and I want to see my face, an African face, an Asian face in these spas, owning it, running it as managers, senior therapists. I want to see faces like mine on top of these industry. It's 2019. There needs to be a reflection of diversity in the beauty industry. Okay? Enough. Many women like myself have invested money upon money, and we are not being represented or reflected in these positions. and it needs to change. I also want to see men in this industry as well. I want to see more men in this industry. It's time. I'm saying it, it's time. We need some change and a diversity in this industry. Okay? A business having no products. Right, if a business has no products, then they need to just put the sell sign up, or put we're closed forever. Because you can't have a business without the products, okay? You need to give the therapist the tools, the products to do the treatments, okay? I've been to a place where they're using gone off products on clients and asking bags loads of money for that treatment, okay? So they didn't care if the person broke out or became ill. They just wanted the money. Unacceptable. Owners who want businesses in the beauty industry need to know the industry. They need to go through some type of training as well. I'm an advocate of that. Owners need some type of training or have some type of experience in the beauty industry. They can't just come in and do things like that. It's unacceptable. People can get hurt. Give your staff the tools, okay? Come on. Back-to-back treatments. Again, why do back-to-back? I know why you're doing back-to-back, because it's the money. It's all about the money. And that's what you're saying to a therapist. It's all about the money. You're not prepared to allow the therapist to do a pre-consultation and an after consultation. You're just getting the customers in, getting the money, and working your beauty therapist out. And that's unacceptable. You need to do better, and the industry needs to regulate this back-to-back, because a lot of women have left the industry because the work was so overwhelming they could not cope. So that back-to-back needs to be done in a better way, and there is a better way of doing it. Allowing the therapist to have time to do the consultation, allowing the therapist to go to the toilet, allowing the therapist to actually get a glass of water, to change the beds. Again, allowing the time, because there is time, but you're not creating the time, and that for me is a frustration, and it can be resolved. Unrealistic targets. So you want the therapist to sell 8 grand's worth of treatments and service, right? So you want the therapist to sell products and treatments, right? But you haven't trained your therapist to do the treatment. So how are they going to do the 8 grand? So basically what you're saying is the therapist can only do the sales of products, 8 grand only, not treatments, when they've been trained to do the treatment at college, and then they've come to you, your premises, your establishment, your corporation, your organization, and you have a training that requires them to do a specific treatment. Train them. Stop. Train them so they can do the treatment, and then turn the therapist, the beautician, can then make the sales for the products and also for the treatment. Be fair. Play fair. You want this therapist to stay with you to make the money. So why would you not give them the training, the tools to do that sale? Because they can do it. It can be done. But the leadership, the person's leading this, needs to play it smart. And again, that's what I've seen in the industry. Okay. No flexible hours working. So I've seen it is, like I'm going back to open 7 days a week, 9 till 9. Be flexible, because again, it's women having the children. It's women, having to take the time off to have the children and raise the children. I'm not saying men ain't there raising their kids. Oh no. But what I'm saying is it's the woman that's having the children. Yeah, she's having the baby, having to take the baby, push out the baby, and then having to nurse the child for a little while. So again, the industry has to be flexible with this. Have to be flexible. That's it. I'm not even going to elaborate because it's just pointless. You have to be flexible. And I know sometimes some women do take liberties by taking too much time off, and then you're left with no staff. I get it. You need someone to cover that. But all I say is be flexible. And therapists, yes, be mindful that you have to adhere to the job because you signed up for that job, okay? Team building, no team building. Team building is a fantastic way to bring your team together. With the new ones, with the old ones, you're bringing them together. Okay, it's a great way to allow the team to get to know one another. You don't need weeks and weeks and weeks of team building. You can just do it over a day. It could be something where you in turn give your therapist treatments. So getting someone in to treat them, take care of them, because I met therapists the other day who have not even had a treatment on themselves for over 2 to 3 years. That's crazy. Because they're busy working, they've had no time to have a massage or have their feet done. They've just had no time. So employers, invest in that. It's a great way to build your team, a great way to merge your team, and it's a great way to keep your team. Okay? Connections. Managers, owners. Every year, Professional Beauty and Beauty, was it Olympia does one? So yeah, you got Professional Beauty, and at Olympia they have big events every year. I think there's one coming up, I think today and for tomorrow at Kensington Olympia, and they tend to do business owners, managers come together and have like seminars, how to grow your businesses, how to keep up to date and all those sort of things. So invest in heading down there to those shows, to be a part, to get to know, to understand how to maintain, and that will help grow your businesses. I know in February, the Professional Beauty one, they do like a business meeting and they do business luncheons. So get involved, grow. This is what it's all about. Okay, so there you go. I've given you the issues that's going on in the industry relating to the beauty therapist, and I'm also giving you the solutions to helping solve these problems, these issues in the beauty industry. I'm sure there's tons or loads more, but those are the ones that I have experienced, and some of my friends or people that I've met in the industry, and they thought these issues were a problem and they could be resolved, and as I said, there are solutions to them. So yeah, that is literally it, guys. I'm done. So I hope you all enjoyed what I've discussed today, and as I said, it's good to hear from people in the industry that's I've spoken to, and they've told me about their stories, their horror stories. I can't even breathe, but we need to do better. There are solutions to this, and the industry needs to value these professionals. These women want to do this job. They love this job. This is where they found their niche in life, and we need to value them. We need to really truly value them. So thank you everyone for listening, and next week's topic is going to be posted up on my social network, so everybody has to follow me to find out what I'm going to be talking about next week. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll speak to you guys very soon.